Hello, hi, my name is Jess Marie. This is yesterday's Coffee Grounds, where I typically talk about things that are going on in my life, what I'm learning, experiences that have happened in my life, and what I have learned from them, or still constantly learning from them. You repeat the same mistake over and over, sometimes until you learn. So I think we all go through that. One of the things that I have really had to learn and adapt over time and modify to fit our life is a Montessori style of raising our child, raising our son, who is now 2. Me mostly, and obviously I shared with Rob as well. We looked at a lot of different styles of Montessori, having hands-on abilities for him, not just putting his coat on and having his coat up on a coat hook that he can't reach, but giving him the ability to put his boots on, have everything accessible to him, and having him right up front, talking to him, explaining to him what we have going on. But when I was looking at these Montessori pages and styles, I found that a lot of it was really expensive, and for most people I don't think that that's affordable, and I put a lot of pressure on myself that, oh, I will never be a Montessori mom because I can't afford the kitchen helper stand. And I tried to ask people for Christmas, and it's like, it's $150. Maybe you can get it on sale, or I'm looking at the wrong place, but it's basically just a stool with rails on the side. You could build one for whatever price, right? You can build one of those. But whenever now that I'm looking at stuff like this, or I'm doing something out of instinct opposed to what's standard, when like talking about bed sharing, co-sleeping, stuff like that, what do people do? What have people done all throughout history? And what do people do in other parts of the world where they're not as fortunate? They don't have these grand homes with lights just for decorative purposes, not for physical light, but for freaking decoratives. There are places that don't have mirrors, right? People don't know what they look like. We have this overwhelming amount of I'll call it a luxury or ability to see ourselves all the time out of a friggin' mirror, right? We have to be mindful of this. So as I was researching different ways to do Montessori, I was like, okay, I can't afford this stuff. So I'm going to talk about this kitchen set here. So we got this kitchen set at a thrift store. I highly recommend thrift store, Marketplace. I'm not on Facebook, but I know there's a lot of great stuff on Marketplace. Taking roads, if you have the ability to take an alternate route to your house, taking alternate routes to your house, because you can find free stuff all the time. And I'm telling you, everything that you see in this frame right here is secondhand or gifted to us, except for actually these bowls. I did buy these bowls for way too much. I think I spent like $20 on these bowls. There's 2 of them, but I thought it matched really well. And I'm like, you know what? We finished this for Christmas last year for Levon, and I really like the way that it looks. And yeah, that's the only thing I think we bought brand new. So I just want to say, don't put a lot of stress on yourself to do the whole. You can be a Montessori mom without breaking the bank, without buying those friggin' stacking blocks they're like rocks and you stack them. Like the Montessori stuff that's out there, you don't need to do that. You can get, so one of the things we have for Levon is this, and he can mix the batter himself. So here, this is just like a basic little kitchen set here. I'll show you our setup of our room. So he's got, this was gifted to us. It's a cleaning set. It was one of the things on his birthday wish list. We got some money from family and we got him this fake vacuum. That's another thing I want to just talk about. There's this one girl I followed and she's like, don't get your kid a fake vacuum. Let them actually learn. Buy a mini vacuum. And it's like, you know how expensive a vacuum is? You want me to spend money on a mini vacuum for my child who's going to vacuum literally for 30 seconds. He likes to vacuum for, I know he's 2, so it's different. It'll grow over time. He loves vacuuming for 30 seconds, right? When I'm vacuuming, he will go and grab his vacuum. He knows that. He's like, yeah, I'll help mom clean, but he doesn't do it forever, right? I'm not gonna go out and spend money on a mini vacuum that, one, we're talking about space. The difference between like how much space this takes up versus a bulky mini vacuum, right? Like, girl doesn't have money for that. That cost, I think, $20 at London Drugs on Boxing Day, right? or I think it was London Drugs. And yeah, this cost, I think, $8. Rob put in, we tried to do, so you can do functional kitchens. That was one thing I was really wanting to do for Levon, where he can get his own plate and stuff like that. I think he was just too young and we pushed it too soon on him. He loves having, so we got, for my grandparents who have older grandkids, they had all these like food things that you could probably get on Marketplace or find secondhand. But yeah, these are great. I think these are such good, like you can cut them. Levon, who's 2, he loves, I always set up, you can see his bread there and he has a knife. I always set that up for him because especially at night, first thing in the morning, he likes to go cut up the bread and serve it to us. I think that's like, it's such a good hands-on learning activity that it doesn't break the bank. It's something you can ask for Christmas. Something like this, like we just got lucky and we found it secondhand. I actually found a really nice one on the side of the road, but we didn't have a vehicle to transport it and we were too far away to walk with it because it was 2 pieces and they were handmade. It was like a little oven set and a stovetop and then like a sink with a little side table to prep and stuff. We just didn't have the ability to pick it up and all that. But this is a great size for him. He's got his oven. He makes a lot of turkey dinners in there. And then salt and pepper. And yeah, and we painted it because it was blue and red. We painted it to match everything. I think overall this was probably $30. If we're talking about the paint, we tried, so this little rack here was for water and we tried to do like that water stand. Like if you see Montessori stuff, they try to do the water stand. They make it look like their kid is just so efficient. It's like, my son is explosive. He is dynamic. He will just play with that water and it just was not working for us. So now we just have this big gaping hole here that maybe one day we will set up a water stand for him so he can get his own water. Maybe we'll put plates and stuff, but right now we just found that it wasn't working for us. He's able to go up, grab a glass or a cup for himself and get his own water. But right now it's just like, to have a functional stand, he enjoys the play. He doesn't want to have all his kitchen stuff in there right now. So that is our little stand. I highly recommend like a little kitchen set. Don't put so much pressure. I put so much pressure on getting this little setup and it just did not work. You're gonna see me in the mirror there, that's okay. This we just got recently. Our friends were moving out. It's actually a table, a desk. And they were moving, they brought it downstairs and I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, that is such a good bench, like workbench. Where did you get this? I've never seen this in your house. They're like, no, it's our desk. Like, so this would be on the ground, that would be on the ground. And we ended up, so they were gonna put it on Marketplace and we're like, no, we will take this. So now it is an arts and crafts center. So we got this for free. You can probably find so many free benches or desks online. Rocking chair got gifted to us. There's this little rolly stand here with crayons and paints and stuff. I got for under $5. Under $5. All his crayons, his glues, the paints and stuff, we get all of it secondhand. I don't buy anything brand new like that because people donate stuff. We are also really lucky where we have a great thrift store in town where they have all this stuff. They have everything in bags. So you can go in and spend $3 and there's like the crayons and stuff like that. I'm also like, I try to be zero waste. It's so hard to do. Or I try to be minimal or less waste. So I wouldn't buy these myself. Let's see if they're here. I wouldn't buy these myself, but they're already bought because I don't like the idea of waste of throwing this out once it's done with. And then there's also like the twist crayons. I wouldn't buy them myself from a store like Walmart or Zellers. I don't know, Zellers still a thing, Staples. But they're in the thrift store. Someone was gonna throw them out and they decided to thrift them. And if that doesn't get sold, they're gonna throw it out anyway. So I'm like, might as well just use them, right? $3. We got a huge bag of these sparkly pens and crayons, just a bunch of stuff, felt, and it's amazing, it's great. Pipe cleaners, clothespins, paintbrushes, we get all of it secondhand for cheap, cheap, cheap. You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money. Maybe you do if you don't have the luxury like us to have such a good thrift store. we got really lucky where we live. So then we also have this little rack here that's kind of for things that are drying, other arts and crafts. We haven't really decided like what we're doing with that, but it's there. And sometimes we put glue on there. I don't know. There's paint up there right now. But yeah, I really like having that stand there. And then up top, so we Rob cut out the bottom there for the chair to slide in. It slides in because it's a hollow base. There used to be a drawer compartment in there. And then up at the top, there's also compartments. So on the other side, right here, there's all these cubbies that I want to get tracks so we can get things that slide in and out to put all the extra crayons or art stuff. There's paper. We also get like a thing of construction paper for $2 secondhand. Like, I'm telling you, if you have the ability to go to a thrift store and look for stuff like this, please, like I'm telling you, you can get stuff for such cheap. And our thrift store, all the profits go to the women's center in town. So it's a really good, it feels good. Like that, I got this, all my clothes are secondhand. So that's the workbench. Really nice to have just a spot for him. And it's somewhat all together. So we have on this side here, you can see like there's our chair, our books. So we kind of have our spot. And if he's still at the age, Levon, where he does like us to be with him while he's coloring and stuff like that, or cooking, but sometimes in the morning he's cutting bread and we can go, I don't know if it's distracting if you can see me in the back, but sometimes he's cutting bread and we'll be reading on the chair or writing, and he'll come over and bring us bread on a plate, and it's like, oh my gosh, thank you. And then in the corner we have just some bins. The bins I did buy so that we have like organization, all the extra craft stuff, odds and ends, and then he has a tool bin right here because he does like to build things a lot. This basket right here, you can see this basket. I recommend anyone, if you don't take anything but this out of this video, I recommend getting a random shit basket. So this basket is basically where you put things that it's like, oh my gosh, like it's the end of the day, I don't want to put anything away. So you just put it all in the random shit basket, where it's like he's got his headphones and a truck and like his little switchboard, and you just put it all in there and you deal with it another time. Lifesaver, I'm telling you, this is like such a good, I love it. You can throw that anywhere in your house, right? This we got also at a Reuse It fair, this little square thing. And I actually got that because so I see these all the time and they label them, this is so stupid. They label them as Montessori shelves, but they're basically like a half-size record shelf where it's just like square slots that you put one toy on each one and you rotate the toys through. I wanted one so bad and I'm like, well, I can't afford to get one of them. So I found this at a Reuse It sale, and I would do that where I'd put one toy on the top and one toy in this little hole in the middle. He uses that, he makes it a fireplace. He turns it on his side, uses it as a fireplace, or he'll use it as a hiding spot. He'll stand up on it and be a rock and roll musician, you know? And then he also uses that when we're cooking in the kitchen because we're very hands-on. He uses that to stand up, so I didn't have to spend money. I would have been pissed if I spent money on that stupid rack that I cannot afford, or the stand I cannot afford. There's nowhere to put it. Like, just imagine our space right now. We'd have to tuck it in right there and it would be a jam to get that out all the time. You know, like there's just so many ways that you can go about being a Montessori mom without breaking the bank. You can be thrifty. Like, I'm telling you, both these things, they did not look like this when we got them. And I'm telling you, you could get something like this desk for free. People are giving away stuff all the time for free, and you can reuse it. You can repurpose it. And not everybody has the space. Like, we're a little bit lucky. Like, you can see, this is kind of the size of our living room area. I don't know square feet or anything like that, but that's the size of our living room area. And I'm just gonna move. Yeah, so we have a spot for us, a spot for him, and we don't have a dining room table or anything like that. We've just moved in not too long ago, but it's so important for us to have a spot for our son, a spot for us, where we can be creative, where we can sit and enjoy our time. And yeah, you don't have to break the bank to be Montessori mom. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. This is a little bit different than other videos that I filmed, but yeah, I really appreciate it. And my name is Jess. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever. Oh, excuse me, right at the end. My name is Jess. I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Not to tell you what to do, but I hope it is beautiful. Thanks for watching. Bye.